Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing here at Homestead, Miami for the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, as well as the Cup Series, coming off of our first win of the season in the last episode in Atlanta, as well as we got our first truck win as a team owner and an Xfinity win. So it was a great time out for us in Atlanta Motor Speedway, and of course we hope to continue that over here into the Ford EcoBoost weekend, starting us off with the Ford EcoBoost 200 at Homestead Miami Speedway for the Truck Series. As you guys know, we have subscribers in the truck for each episode that is randomly chosen, that from anyone who entered on the off-season video just about a week ago. So we had subscriber James Ingalls in the truck here for us today, or tonight, in Homestead, Miami. He started a little bit outside the top 10, but immediately he got aggressive and made it 3 wide up the inside as he went down into turn 1 here and turns 2, trying to get up the inside of the 52 there of Stuart Friesen. But as you guys remember, in the last episode, we got our very first win as a Truck Series owner, which was very nice to pick that off because, you know, we really want to get to victory lane. We want to be a playoff contender. We want to be a potential champion contender in just our first season as a Truck Series owner. And if we can have a successful season here in the Truck Series, that can really boost my confidence into maybe starting a Cup team at some point. Obviously, that one will be a little bit different. There'll be like an actual race car driver in that one, as well as I won't be driving if we start a Cup team. It'll be someone else, and now kind of like a Denny Hamlin situation now. But we'll come through a little bit later in this race. James had now worked his way up inside the top 10, and he had been battling with drivers like John Hunter Nemechek as he went down toward turn 1, just behind Zane Smith there, who's full-time in trucks and Xfinity this season in the career mode. And sure enough, now James will get up the inside of Ben Rhodes, trying to make sure he does not get hooked down the straightaway into the wall there from Ben. Now as he came through out of turns 4 side by side there with Ben Rhodes as he goes down this front stretch, none of them giving an inch there, as though we came through now to the back straightaway, still battling a little bit later on now with Ben Rhodes was James Ingalls here as he came through turns 3 and 4. Now he's going to clear Ben Rhodes on the exit of the corner, but Rhodes pulls off the crossover. James clips the outside wall there. They're going to be side by side again here down the front stretch as they continue to just have this pretty clean battle, though. They were really running into each other, so it was a relatively clean battle between these two. And sure enough, though, Ben would actually clear James out of turn 2 on this lap. So we come through a little bit later now, and James is now under pressure from John Hunter Nemechek, as well as the 38 of Haley Deegan, a rookie in the series now, so he gets cleared by both of them. There was a little bit of contact with John Hunter going into the corner, and sure enough, the A-Truck goes sideways through turn 1 and 2, makes a huge save behind us, and the race would stay green here in Homestead. So James gets past the 8 of John Hunter, stays behind Haley Deegan there, so we came through now to the actual final moments of this race here in Homestead, Miami. On the final lap, Deegan had continued to move her way forward. Now she got past Ben Rhodes, and James was trying to run down Ben Rhodes here, as he was actually as well under pressure, though, from the 23 of Brett Moffitt as it goes down this back straightaway for the final time here in the Ford EcoBoost 200 to kick off the weekend at Homestead Miami Speedways. James dives down into turn 3 and 4 for the final time here, as he's going to be able to hold off that 23 now as they exit turns 4. So it's going to be a strong run to back up our win in the last episode in Atlanta, with a strong top 10 here from James Ingalls in the Truck Series P7 here to be exact. And the winner was Johnny Sauter. Ross Chastain came up just short. Chastain runs still every series in the career mode. I'm going to change it at one point, but right now we have him running in every season or series pretty much full time there, as you see the rest of the order on your screen for the finishing of this truck race. But now we're going to come through into the Xfinity Series. I did not actually show this race, I just simmed through this race, and I'm just going to show you guys the results of this one here. As you can see, Jeffrey Earnhardt actually picked up the victory in the Xfinity Series race. And it seems like one thing that kind of doesn't really work well with the simming is we seem to get a lot of surprise winners for some reason when we do simulations. So I'm not sure why that happens, but we might actually have to refrain from doing some simulations in these races because of that situation of Jeffrey Earnhardt's pretty much getting a win. But it happened last season a few times too, but nothing we can do about it at this point now as we come through into the Cup Series weekend for myself, running a bit of a different paint scheme, and another one from the October DLC, the All-Star paint scheme. We don't have an All-Star race in this game, so I wanted to run this paint scheme at some track, and I decided, you know what, we're going to run it at Homestead at Miami. So we come through to start our qualifying lap, and you notice the big difference with the paint scheme is just the number is pushed back towards the left rear wheel, and the sponsor is actually where the number usually is. So it's honestly a difference that I am embracing. I don't mind it now as we come through, diving down into turn 3 and 4 here. The goal is a 32.206, and we're going to exit turns 4 4 heading down this front straightaway. It's going to be a little bit close here as we come through to cross the line. It's a little bit off, 32.384, and that puts us P12 here for the Dixie Vodka 400 at Homestead Miami Speedway. So not the worst qualifying effort, of course, setting us up pretty well there as we see the rest of the qualifying order. Alex Bowman, Eric Almirola, Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, all with very subpar qualifying efforts. Not very good for them at all. The Hendrick guys looking to be struggling a little bit here, as William Byron's in the mid-20s as well. Suarez up there in 27th. Rookies like Noah Gregson up there in P18. Chase Briscoe 15th. Harrison Burton had a decent qualifying effort. Bubba Wallace up there in P8. He's had some very good qualifying efforts this season. And on pole, we got Ryan Blaney joined with Kevin Harvick on the front row. But now it was time to come through into the race where we start things off here. You see, just kind of overviewing us so far. So we have 3 career wins and a Daytona 500 runner-up now. But the notable is that we have a top 10 so far in every race this season. And we look to continue that here today in the Dixie Vodka 400 at Homestead Miami Speedway. There you see Joey Gase starting at the back as usual. But it says it's good to have friends. Ryan Blaney starting on pole. He had 3 wins last season in the career mode, looking for his first one so far this season. He's been strong, just hasn't quite had race winning speed. As Ty Dillon starting at the back of the field after failing pre-race inspection. There you see that all-star paint scheme on the car now as we get ready to take the green flag here in Homestead, Miami now as we are underway for the Dixie Vodka 400 in Miami, starting from the 12th position. You're going to notice a bit of a lighting change there due to the replay mode now as it takes it from the 3rd and final stage. One thing I can say though, they fixed the lighting glitch in this game for Homestead, which was a bit of an issue last time we came to this track, but it is completely fixed now, so you're not going to notice any weird lighting as we come through out of turn 2. Right behind that one car of Kurt Busch. Not a great start for the 23 of Bubba Wallace. They did announce or unveil that car in real life today, but I'm actually going to keep the paint scheme we have now because personally I think the scheme we have now looks better than the real one now as we come through out of turns 4 side by side with Martin Truex Jr. Bubba slowing pretty early on, so we're going to make it 3 wide with him here as we go down the front stretch and just blow right on by the 23 of Bubba Wallace in that 23-11 Racing Toyota Camry here as we come through the center of 1 and 2. Keselowski going to get taken side by side by his Penske Racing teammate of Joey Logano here. So we're going to try and force a 3 wide down this back straightaway on the second lap of this race. And we're going to get past the 2 of Keselowski, get alongside Austin Dillon, who had a solid qualifying effort. As you see up ahead, Ryan Blaney battling it out with our teammate of Denny Hamlin, who won the Daytona 500 yet again this season. So what, 4 Daytona 500s now for Denny Hamlin as we go down this front stretch side by side with Keselowski and Dillon as we dive down into the corner now. As you see Hamlin, he's trying to make that outside work like we are. I'm a lot more comfortable up on this outside lane here in Homestead, Miami. You notice me run the top whenever I can, and it was really working here today because when I was running the bottom of the track, the car just did not feel very comfortable. So you're going to see me up on towards the wall for the majority of this race here as Blaney would actually get up towards that outside wall, trying to maybe cover off Denny Hamlin for that lead position here as we come through out of turns 4, trying to get alongside Cole Custer in that number 41 car as we are both in our second season here in the career mode in the Cup Series. As we're going to clear Cole Custer down into turn 1, and he would start to get passed by drivers like Brad Keselowski. Truex was putting some pressure on him as well. Keselowski, though, he got to my inside on lap 4, drove right on by me. I had absolutely nothing for the 2012 Penske champion here as we come through out of turns 4 now on lap 5. Truex, he's going to get to my inside as well, and in situations similar to Keselowski, he's just going to drive right on by me, but we do fight hard down this front straightaways. We seem to just have more speed down towards the end of the straightaways here in Homestead, Miami, but unfortunately, there you see into the corner, Truex cleared me. He would continue to move forwards, passing Keselowski as well as Kevin Harvick. I run down Keselowski and Harvick again here, though, as we came through approaching lap 9. Then we come through to lap 10. You see Keselowski trying to force it up the inside of Kevin Harvick right there as we come through out of turns 2, heading down this back straightaway side by side between the 2 champions of the Cup Series. Now as we're going to get in behind the 2 of Keselowski here as we dive down into turn 3, trying to maybe make a pass for 8th place on Kevin Harvick. As we exit turns 4, we're going to have the run, but no, Harvick's going to fight back, and I decided to be a little bit generous and give him the room here as we're going to be side by side down this front stretch toward turns 1. Now as you see Matt DiBenedetto up here having a pretty solid run, a bit of a rough start to the beginning of the season for him, but if we can just keep things, keep the parts on the car without malfunctioning, he should be able to make the playoffs there as we make a pass and clear Kevin Harvick. So now up another position there into P8 as we dive down into turn 3. Hamlin now out front here over second place of Kurt Busch in that Chip Ganassi Racing Chevrolet. Of course, in his final season of the career mode, as well as we just announced in the last episode that Noah Gragson will be replacing Kurt Busch as the caution actually comes out for the first time here today in Homestead, Miami. And now we're going to be forced into a mid-stage restart where we're going to take 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 tires here on the pit stop and get ready ready to go back green. So we come in P8 there. I thought about making some adjustments there. You did see I did make a grill tape adjustment. Last time we added grill tape, it did not end very well for us. We actually overheated the car in the last episode at Atlanta, but I decided to just make a minor grill tape add-on. Instead of going up by 2 clicks, we only went up by 1. But we gained 1 spot on the pit lane. Now P7 for the restart as Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch will lead the way to the green flag, which is now back underway here. It'll be 4 laps to go in the first stage. Chase Elliott up there in that 3rd position, along with Martin Truex Jr. joining him on row number 2. Then we got the Penske duo of Ryan Blaney and Keselowski on row number 3, as we are now going to get up the inside of Brad Keselowski as we come through out of the corner. So up to P6, a little bit of contact there with the 19 of our teammate. Now, so we're going to make it 3 wide up the inside here of Ryan Blaney, as well as Martin Truex Jr. as we dive down into turn 3. Hamlin still out front now as we are going to clear the 19, but now still side by side with Ryan Blaney as he hangs on that right rear as we exit the corner side by side with the Penske driver. Now as we come through to cross the line, it is now just 3 laps to go in stage 1 as we take over the 4th position from Ryan Blaney. Now as I clip the apron just a little bit, we slide up the track. Blaney still tight on our door and is going to pull us back and allow those front 3 drivers of Hamlin, Elliott, as well as Kurt Busch to drive away. As finally though, as we went down into turn 3 on lap 17, we have a chance to clear Blaney. We slide up in front of him there as we exit turn 4. He's going to get taken 4 wide by Harvick, Truex, and Brad Keselowski as we come through to start 2 laps to go now in stage 1. Hamlin still trying to hold off Elliott and Kurt Busch as we dive down into turn 1, back up to that outside lane where I feel most comfortable driving here as we come through the center of the corner. Harvick looking to my inside now as we come through, heading down this back straightaway. It's going to be side by side with the 2014 champion as he's definitely showing the speed to be able to probably get us here before the stage is over, as we're going to do whatever we can though to use this outside to our advantage and hold off Harvick for an extra point now as we come through out of turns 4. Denny Hamlin comes through to the white flag in stage 1. Truex side by side with the rookie of Noah Gragson, who's having a very strong run here today in Homestead, Miami. Now as we go to the middle lane this time instead of right up to the top, but we gradually just kind of transition to the higher portion of the track now as we come through out of turns 2, still side by side with Harvick on this final lap in stage 1, but we're going to clear him down the back straightaway as we dive down into turn 3. But now Harvick's going to set it up our inside. We make contact with Harvick. He goes sliding there. Contact as well from Truex. He saves it, but we lose a bunch of time due to that contact. Gragson, Truex, Blaney, Keselowski all pass us, and we come through instead of top 5. We get P8 here in the first stage as Denny Hamlin is able to pull off the stage victory, but Harvick and myself kind of went for the same real estate. I don't know why Harvick went to the outside in the turns 3 there, because I was already going there, and unfortunately we just came together and Harvick went sideways. He did hang on though, as we all keep things going in the right direction and get ready to go green for stage 2. I don't know if I came down on Kevin there, guys, or what happened there. I just went into the corner normally, and next thing you know, we came together, but thankfully we all kept it going. There you heard the radio transmission from myself as we gained 2 spots on the pit lane there. So this is going to set us up in P6 for the start of the 2nd stage, which is now underway. Denny Hamlin leads the way to the green along with Kurt Busch joining him on the front row. Gragson is the driver to keep in mind right now. Keep your eyes on him. He is up in the 3rd position. Obviously, that 77 car a lot faster this season, as you can tell, compared to last season. And that is because in the career mode, we have put it in the storyline as they have actually increased their alliance with Hendrick Motorsports, or at least they've created an alliance, I should say, with Hendrick Motorsports. So you're going to see that 77 run decent throughout the season. I'm not sure if he'll make the playoffs or not, Gragson, but he will definitely be a playoff contender next season when he takes over that 1 car, I'm sure. Now, as he's just really just hanging on this season. He has nothing to lose. He's already got a guaranteed spot in that Chip Ganassi #1 Chevrolet next season in the career mode. So he's just, like I said, just kind of chilling this season and seeing what he can do and prove himself now. So he's going to be driving side by side into turn 1 with his future ride here of Kurt Busch now as we come through out of turns 2. There you see Blaney still up my inside as we run P7 down this back straightaway. Keselowski just behind us. Logano a little bit back further in the frame now, as well as we have Hamlin just driving away at the start of the stage as we would continue to battle it out here from about 2nd through 8th place now as we came through on lap 3. We're going 3 wide with now Chase Elliott as well as Brad Keselowski, Truex, and Kurt side by side as Gragson tries to run away with 2nd position here with 14 laps to go in the 2nd stage as we dive down into turns 1, still 3 wide with Elliott as well as Brad Keselowski here as we're going to be very close quarters on the exit of the corner. I got a little bit sideways now, but we use the momentum down the straightaway. We're going to briefly clear the 9 of Elliott, but on now lap 5 into turns 1, he actually gets back up my inside, and then I clip the wall there on the exit, or the center of turns 1 and 2, I should say, and now on the exit, we lose all that time down to P8 because of that. That was really the first time so far that I had gotten really into the wall today in Homestead after running up towards the top for the majority of the race. That was certainly a little bit surprising now as we came through, though, to lap 12 of 17 here in stage 2. Gregson, he had drifted down to the 7th position, and now we were battling him for that spot and trying to make that pass here as we go down this backstretch side by side with one of the rookies here. Of course, we got a 3 rookie class this season of Noah Gregson, Chase Briscoe, as well as Harrison Burton there in that 96 car, who we really haven't seen in today's episode so far as we come through out of turns 4. Gregson pulls the crossover on us now as we slipped up on the exit of the corner side by side with 5 to go, but we clear him for the moment as we dive down into turns 1, but this battle would continue on with Gregson as we come through to lap 14, or I should say turns 3 on lap 14. Now on lap 16, though, 2 laps to go in the second stage. Hamlin, he's driven away with a stage victory, very easy for him, but we're still battling with Noah Gregson. There's sideways for a moment there on the exit of turns 2 as we continue to fight with the rookie, who's really showing some strong potential, and if Gregson can show this in the 77 car, I really think that his potential is going to be very high in the 1 car, but the caution comes out and stage 2 comes to an end. Unfortunately, couldn't find what brought out the cautions in this episode now in the replay mode, but obviously we were barely in front of Gregson when the caution came out. So I decide, though, we're going to make some tire pressure adjustments there on the right sides and then get ready to go green for this third and final stage. As you see the running order, the Hendrick cars are kind of struggling today other than Chase Elliott. Kyle Busch, our teammate's struggling. This is definitely the worst race of the season for him. Burton down there in P27, the rookie and affiliate to us. Larson struggling a little bit as well. There's Stenhouse running in the mid-30s. So some drivers struggling here today in Homestead, Miami, which is a bit of a surprise, but they still have one stage to try and get it right. Martin Truex Jr. actually was able to pass Kurt Busch on the pit lane, so it'll be a Joe Gibbs Racing front row between Hamlin and Truex. Now the third and final stage is underway here in Homestead, Miami for now 26 laps as we get ready to go down into turns 1. Of course, we want to get right up that inside of the 12 of Ryan Blaney as soon as we can, so he cannot get down in front of us. Sure enough, we get up his inside. I clipped the apron there, but thankfully we are able to keep it out of the left side of Blaney's door. Now as they're going 3 wide behind us, Harvick kind of got the short end of that now as we go down this backstretch side by side with that Penske driver. Blaney been very consistent throughout this day. It's been a very similar top probably 7 or 8 throughout this whole race now as we come through. There hasn't been a whole lot of shaking up as we're going to be 3 wide for a brief moment with Keselowski as well as Martin Truex Jr., but Truex uses that momentum to get clear of us as we come through to complete that first and opening lap here of the third and final stage in the Dixie Vodka 400 at Homestead, Miami now as we dive down into the corner trying to clear Keselowski. Now we got Matt DiBenedetto coming into the frame behind. We clear Keselowski, get side by side with our veteran teammate, the 2017 Cup Series champion of Truex, as we're side drafting there right on that left rear quarter panel to pull him back and hopefully clear him through turns 3 and 4, but pretty evident now that's not going to happen as we slide up the track about halfway clear or so. If Truex doesn't work out now, DiBenedetto, he gets up the inside as we go down the straightaway. It's going to be 3 wide in the middle. Truex clears us, but now Keselowski to the outside, so we are forced to run this middle lane into turn 1 and give up some time there, as I just did not feel great in this middle lane, but it actually kind of works out towards the exit. We get back ahead of Keselowski a little bit now as we're right on the back of the 21. We're going to make it 3 wide again now with DiBenedetto in the middle, Keselowski on the outside, and myself on the far bottom as Denny Hamlin has a little bit of pressure from Kurt Busch at the very front of the field. He's not running away like he did in stage 2 as we're still 3 wide as we exit turns 4, but we get a little bit sideways there, but we hang on to it, but now that's going to hurt our momentum and we drop down here into P7 just in front of Noah Gregson with 23 laps to go here in Homestead, Miami. So of course we don't have a car that's capable of winning this race on raw speed. We didn't have one in Atlanta either, but we won that race. Now as Ryan Blaney, though, he was able to get up my inside now as we were once again back up on this top lane with 20 laps to go, battling it out with Truex, DiBenedetto, as well as Ryan Blaney now. As I was thinking, though, in my head that we could maybe try the short pit strategy like we did a few races ago in Phoenix, which almost picked us up a victory. Unfortunately, we gave away the win to Christopher Bell, who is now a one-time winner here in the Cup Series in his second season of the career mode now as we go down this backstretch, or second season of the career mode and Cup, I should say, as we would continue this fight here with DiBenedetto as well as Ryan Blaney. But we got that win in Atlanta, of course, so we can really take risks at this point here for the rest of the regular season to try and get whatever playoff points we can get for stage wins or race wins as well, which would give us a an extra handful of playoff points here as we dive down into turns 3, trying to clear Ryan Blaney now as he's going to fight back though on the exit of turns 4, and it's just pretty evident that we're just seeing Denny Hamlin drive away along with Kurt Busch. So I said, you know what, we got to try short pitting or something. So that was the strategy, as we're going to do a short pit strat. Now as we came to the lap 51, Kurt Busch passes Denny Hamlin for the lead. Both of those drivers looking for win number 2 on the season. Hamlin won the 500. Kurt Busch, he won at Las Vegas, his home race here in his final season of the career mode. But I really was struggling to pass Ryan Blaney, and the gap would open up a bit as we came to the lap 53. So I decided, you know what, right here, we're going to come to the pit lane as Hamlin retakes the lead from Kurt Busch. But I said, we're coming to the pit lane on lap 53 a lot earlier than what the other drivers are going to do. So we get down without any issues now, and we do not speed into the pit lane, thankfully. So we got on there without absolutely no problem. 2-tire pit stop, 8.1 seconds. I could have maybe taken half a can, but I decided we have to take 2 tires if we want to make it to the end here. So I decided to put a whole can of fuel in anyways. Now as we're going to exit the pit lane here, and hopefully now this is a very big risk, because if a caution comes out, we haven't had a caution in this final stage yet, surprisingly. So if a caution does come out right now, our whole race has come to an end here in Homestead, Miami. So hopefully this risk will pay off now as we come through, rejoining the track, and of course we would set our sights on just getting the fastest laps possible here to run down these drivers in front of us, so that way when Hamlin and the other leaders come to the pit lane, hopefully when they come out, we gain so much time that we're actually able to pass them and take over the lead here in Miami now as we came to the 10 laps to go in this race. Of course, we are a lap down, so it is 10 laps to go as we dive down into the corner, closing in on this big group of cars here with Ross Chastain at the very back, Logano, Bowman all up in the mix as well here as we're going to get right to the back of the 42 of Chastain, and then we're going to give him a bit of a shove there as we go down the straightaway. 9 laps to go here in Miami now as we dive down into the corner, now stuck behind Logano, as we're going to be able to clear Chastain here as we come through towards the exit, not able to get onto the 22, so we're getting held up a little bit here as we do get to his outside now as we go down the straightaway. So a little bit annoyed here with these guys just kind of being in my way. They're doing nothing wrong, of course, but I just had to try and find a faster way around them. But then I get boxed in right here between Logano and Bowman with 8 laps to go, and so far this just kind of strategy is probably not going to work as we dive down into turn 1 and 2 once again now as we're going to hopefully be able to clear the 22 on the exit of turn 2 and then attack on the 48 now. And sure enough, we do clear Logano, get up the inside of Alex Bowman here as we go down the back straightaway into turn 3. Christopher Bell just in front of us there in P11, but now some drivers are starting to come into the pit lane. Hamlin the leader, and in there you see another handful of cars coming in as well. Gregson the rookie, Harvick, Bowman, they all came in there as I got very sideways on the exit of turn 2 on lap 61, nearly drove right into the right rear quarter panel of Christopher Bell, but we clear him down the back stretch, and he's likely going to come to the pit lane as well. This time he gets up my inside. I just kind of took the middle lane, and sure enough, he comes into the pit lane along with everybody else. Keselowski now gives up the lead that he took over Hamlin when he came into the pit lane. But here's the big surprise. After taking that risk on the strategy to get the undercut, we gained pretty much no time at all here on the drivers in front of us. Hamlin is way out in front of us now, just like he was when we came into the pit lane. So what my assumption was is that the drivers in front of us only took fuel, and that was probably half a can of fuel and no tires like we did. So our strategy really got us nowhere as we would pass Ryan Blaney to rejoin though in P5 now as we were coming through to the closing points of this race. Hamlin leading the way with 4 laps to go, but the caution comes out from Kevin Harvick, it looks like now, as this is going to force overtime here in Homestead, Miami. And now we have older tires, possibly, or the AI didn't take tires at all. We still don't know, but it does seem like that they did not take tires. So we might actually have a tire advantage here going into an overtime restart. It's unfortunate that strategy didn't work out, guys, but maybe the caution can help us get a shot here. Denny Hamlin, Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, Matt DiBenedetto, and myself, the top 5 setting up for overtime, which is now underway. Hamlin and Kurt looking for their second win of the season for both of them now. As Chase Elliott, though, he's looking for his first win of the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode in general, and so is Matt DiBenedetto now, as none of them were able to win in our rookie season of the Cup Series now as we come through turns 1 and 2. Not a bad start. The car was definitely loose right off the bat, as you could tell by the wheel input there on the screen now, as I had to pull it to the right quite a bit now. So go down this back straightaway. A lap and a half remains in the Dixie Vodka 400 up the inside now. The one car car of Kurt Busch. Chase Elliott into second place, trying to pounce on that 11 of Hamlin as we push up the track there nearly into Kurt Busch. I would have loved to have been clear of him, but unfortunately he hinders our progress now as we come through to start the final lap here in Homestead, Miami, side by side with Kurt Busch as we dive down into turns 1. Hamlin, Elliott, P1, P2. I clip the apron now as we slide up into the now side of the 1 car. It's going to be 4 wide as we exit turn 2. Big contact with Kurt Busch. He's sideways. He hangs onto it. We clip the 19 of Truex there as we get very chaotic here on the final lap in Homestead, Miami. Is now Gragson into third as we dive down into turn 3. Kurt Busch again sideways behind. De Benedetto saves him as he makes contact as we get up the inside of Gragson down the front straightaway. Coming to the line, Hamlin wins, and we are not going to be able to beat Gragson to the line. We come through to finish in the 5th position here in Homestead, Miami. A wild overtime there as things got a little bit crazy on the exit of turns 2 on that final lap with Kurt Busch. 4 wide we got forced by Gragson and Truex, but overall, still a good day for us here in Homestead, Miami. We continue the top 10 streak. So what we've done, 6 or 7 races this season now, and we've been in the top 10 every single one. So that's certainly a streak that we look to continue now as we go to a post-race interview with Jay Cook.
Solid day again, Gary, to continue your top 10 streak. What was the car missing to contend for the win?
Just raw speed, I think, to be honest with you, Jay. It was a good car overall, but it felt a little bit too loose at times, and we made some tire pressure adjustments and whatnot, and just trying to kind of get the balance right. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for us there at the end, but still happy overall. We had a 5th place finish. We kind of got into it with Kurt there coming to the finish on the exit of turns 2. Unfortunate for him, he restarted like 2nd and finished like 10th or something like that, which was unfortunate for him. My bad getting into the side of him. I made a mistake, but overall, a good day for us, and hopefully we can go into Texas next race and continue the top 10 streak. That would certainly be very nice because we've had a great season so far. All right, there you heard the post-race interview between myself as well as Jay Cook. As always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you do know what to do. We're going to check out the standings for all 3 series though before we end this episode here. In the next one, we do go to Texas Motor Speedway, a track that hasn't treated me great in the past, so a slight concern going into that one now, but there you see the playoff grid in the truck series, and here is the Xfinity grid. So we got 5 drivers in the playoffs on the Xfinity series side, all different winners so far this season, and that was the trend in Cup until Denny Hamlin won today at Homestead, Miami. So there you see we got 5 drivers as well though locked in the playoffs on the Cup series side there. As you look towards the bottom of the grid, the last driver in right now is Kevin Harvick, Briscoe, Burton, De Benedetto, Cole Custer, all less than 5 points below that cut line. So it's going to get interesting here in the next part of the season now as we get ready to go into race 7 at Texas Motor Speedway in the next episode now. So thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this episode. I appreciate it all the time, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a great day.